has conducted direct tests on the Sudarium of Oviedo.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes? Can you see me? That's on the beginning, so. Thank you. Well, my name is Carlos. I'm a member of the leadership team of the Spanish Center of Synthenology. And just before we go to the talk, I would like to introduce our group. The Spanish Center of Synthenology was founded in Valencia by Manuela Corsini in 1987. In 1989, we obtained the authorization of the Archbishop of Oviedo for the study of the Holy Sudarium. Sudarium is a relic attributed to Jesus Christ that is venerated in Spain since the 7th century. Thereby, Edices, the research team, was created, and we celebrate this year the 25th anniversary. Edices has had the specialists from a huge different scientific disciplines over the years. Edices have had the privilege of studying directly the relic from the 1989 to nowadays. Our first global results were presented at the first International Congress of the Sudarium of Oviedo in 1994. So, these results, yeah. These results have been collected in various publications and were presented to the policy in 2004. Cardinal Ratzinger, you see, and Jorge Manuel, the president of the FED. Cardinal Ratzinger encouraged to deep in investigation. In 2007, we held in Oviedo the second International Congress of the Sudarium. In March 2012, a new age has begun in investigation. New results were presented to the Congress of Valencia in 2012. The following paper is the results of the research finished in the last period, and I have the pleasure to present it on the name of the Cesar Barta, of one of the members of Edices. So, this is the title: The New Coincidences Between the Shroud and the Sudarium of Oviedo. This is the structure we will follow. First, a glance to the framework for both flows, Sudarium and Shroud, then the core of this presentation, the new findings, and finally another coincidences probably less known. The Gospel according to John includes the unique mention of the Sudarium as a cloud apart from the Shroud. This could be the reconstruction of what John saw on Friday evening, and this could be the reconstruction of what John saw on Sunday morning. It is possible to prove that both clothes wrap the same person. In this hypothetical case, stains and dust of his body will leave similar traces in both clothes. Now, an explanation of how the Sudarium was used as a result of the forensic analysis and of other branches of the science. First, the cloth was put around the head of a corpse who was died an hour before, more or less, in a vertical position. With the corpse still in a vertical position, one edge of the Sudarium was sewn. Yes, it was sewn. It was stitched to the hair of the back of the nail. Then it was passed around the left side of the head, over the left ear, and then it was put over the face with a double slip or double layer. Why? Because the piece of cloth was put over the face to avoid the spill internal fluids. After an hour more or less in this arrangement, the cork was put face down for another hour more or less. Finally, the Sudarium was arranged all around the head with a knot on the top. Few minutes later, it was removed from the head of a corpse and was sprinkled with aloes and styrax, a substitute of milk. You can see the image. So, when the cloth is deployed, the areas that were in front of the face and of the nape can be seen in this figure. This is the first approach to the coincidences between a shroud and the Sudarium, cloth and image at the same scale. Now we can go further to the comparison of both clothes. As the Sudarium was put around the head, we are interested in the face of the shroud and in the back of the neck. Taking into account that we work with photographs, a previous condition to start comparison is work with the same scale for every picture. These are the shroud and the Sudarium at the same scale. Face of the shroud and stain of the Sudarium at the same scale allow us to superimpose the contour of the stain over the face. We can see the matching of the nose, the space between the eyebrows wider because the capillarity, and this area filled of cloth limited by the hair, the eyebrows and the epsilon. You see the epsilon? And the most astonishing coincidence, this drop of blood found partially in both clothes. No? Anyway. After this introduction, we can go to the core of the talk, the new findings. We obtained X-ray fluorescence data from the Sudarium with a portable detector. The principle of function is the projection of X-rays that stimulates the emission of X-rays characteristic of the elements traces, calcium, potassium, and strontium. These new rays are detected and processed to estimate the amount of each element with resolution ppm. The elements of low atomic weight can compose the cellulose of the cloth are not detected by the device. Therefore, it detects mainly impurities and contamination. The analysis was performed in 57 spots according to a selected pattern. The spots include blood stains and clean areas. Results can be summarized in 3 findings. The first finding deals with the differences between clean and stained area. The clean area is located mainly in the periphery of the cloth. In the graph, we represent the quantity of each element in the stained area as a percentage of quantity found in the clean area. They are the mean values of the stained area. The 100% represents the mean of the clean spots. We know that the mean values found in the stains results higher than the mean values found in the clean areas for all the analyzed elements. We performed the T-student test to determine whether the differences between the values in the stain and clean areas are statistically significant or not. We found that the quantity of calcium and strontium were truly different. Principally, there is more quantity of calcium in the stain. A most robust analysis with principal component analysis that takes into account the linear combination of all the elements showed that the 71 of all the spots in the stain area do not belong to the clean model. If we consider, hello? Yeah. Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. If we consider that the calcium is an indicator of dust, this first result can be expressed as there is more dust in the stain area than in the clean area. continue? Yeah. The justification for this finding can be that the dust came to the cloth when the physiological fluids were still fresh, and therefore the particles in the stain area would have been retained forever once they dried. Otherwise, the dust on the clean area would have been more easily lost. The previous result, together with the fact that the stain have been linked with the anatomical features of the man, allow us to state that the amount of the dust can be also linked with the anatomical features of the man. Then, the first finding is that there is more dust in the stains, and this leads to the relation between dust and anatomical features of the man. Now we go to the second finding. Among all the measures, there are 3 spots that stand out of the rest. These 3 spots are located very close to the tip of the nose. This spot is more than 5 sigma apart from the statistic family. They correspond the 3 spots close to the tip of the nose, as we say. The head, the head that was covered by the Sudarium has an excess of dirt close to the tip of the nose. The same unexpected finding was observed in the 80s in the Shroud. Backlin, in 1982, says, detailed photographs and microscopic studies of the cloth in the nose image area show scratches and dirt. These are consistent with the nose having made contact with the ground, most likely as a result of a fall. Rogers, in the same year, confirmed the finding of Pellicori. Pellicori and Evans noted significantly higher concentration of particulates in the nose and foot regions of the image. And the most specific data come from the work of Morris, that conducted on the Shroud the same type of test that we performed on the Sudarium, the X-ray fluorescence. In the image of the right, we have plotted the amount of calcium found by Morris on 10 spots across the face of the Shroud, from the tip of the nose to the head. We see that the maximum amount of calcium is also detected in the spot close to the tip of the nose. We were so impressed.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, so I start again. No. As we say, so we were so impressed when we arrived to this result that we consider is other conclusive reasons that proves that both clothes are associated. Yes, because it's very unlikely that these coincidences happens by a chance. If the 2 clothes shows an excess of dust in this unexpected part of the body, they should have robbed the same person. The second finding is that we observed highest concentration of dust close to the tip of the nose. Now we go on the third and last finding. We wonder if we can add something about the origin of dust. From the known history and assumed history of the Sudarium, we identified 2 main possible origins of the dust: the rock of the Calvary and the stones of the Cathedral of Oviedo, where the cloth has stayed for more than a millennium. Then we use the same detector applied on the Sudarium to perform measurements on samples from the Calvary and on the stones of the cathedral. Among the detected elements, calcium is a main component of limestone, and strontium is one of its impurities. The rate of strontium over calcium can be marked. The rate of strontium over calcium of the cathedral stones is an order of magnitude higher than a rate of the limestone of the Calvary. We see that the rate of found in the dust of the Sudarium is much closer to the rate of limestone of the Calvary, we can estimate that more than 75% of dust of the Sudarium can come from the Calvary. Then, this is the summary of the findings of our research. More dust in the stained area, highest concentration close to the tip of the nose, like in the Shroud, likely dust from Calvary. Now we would like to complete these findings with other coincidences already published but probably not well known. The famous ponytail of the man of the Shroud. The lock of the man of the back of the neck of the man of the Shroud of Turin has been often attributed to a typical Jewish hairstyle in the time of Christ. But I think it's very unlikely that any hairstyle remains in its shape after undergoing to the torture that we observe directly on the Shroud. We have a much better explanation. The image allows us to see the matching of the back of the image of the Shroud of Turin with the blood stains of the Sudarium corresponding to the crown of thorns. The negative facilitates the observation. The edge of the Sudarium falls in the top of the free lock of hair. You see? But as we said, the Sudarium was stitched to the hair of the back of the neck. The row of little holes delimits the hair bundle that remained tied up in this way for around 2 hours. This dirty hair, soaked with blood and sweat, preserves in its ponytail shape afterwards when it dries. We think this is the most plausible explanation for the existence of the hair tuft of the man of the Shroud. The ponytail of the man of the Shroud was caused by the Sudarium of Oviedo. Finally, this is the summary of my talk. The Shroud of Turin and the Sudarium of Oviedo show high content of soil in an unexpected spot close to the tip of the nose, providing a new and astonishing coincidences between both clothes. Most of dust likely from the Calvary and the ponytail of the man of the Shroud of Turin has its origins in the use of the Sudarium of Oviedo for the same person. Thanks for your attention.